Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for being here today. My name is Mike Russell, recently commissioned second lieutenant from the University of Maryland. In 2009-2010, I was a primary instructor, and this year I'll be returning as the Academy Academics Officer for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, the general outline for today is going to be why somebody should choose to be at MLA. Second part we're going to focus on is the training that the cadets actually do at Fort Pickett. Third parts will be what happens after MLA. As you all know, MLA is only a 2-week-long session, but it's something that lasts much longer than that. And then in closing, I want to let you know how MLA benefited me, not only with ROTC, but also in my personal life and with my leadership style. So the first part we're going to focus on is the why MLA, why an ROTC cadet should choose to be at MLA for the summer. You'll notice there on the left-hand side of the presentation, it's Cadet Michael Hughes of North Dakota, teaching our cadets land navigation. First part that we focus on is the session points. As ROTC cadets, that's what we pride ourselves on. It's pretty much what separates you from everybody else. ROTC is designed so that it's pretty much a competition. There are 5,381 people who recently commissioned last year, and the way they judged us is off of session points. So for doing things such as airborne, air assault, small training like that, you get half a point on the National Order of Merit list. 1 point in ROTC is equivalent to 221 slots. So by doing this program, you get 1 point. So for example, me, I've done it for 2 years. That bumped me up 442 people on the National Order of Merit list. So doing this program benefits you extremely in that process. The OML is important because it teaches you and it helps you get your desired branch and duty station that you're trying to get to. Second part is it actually tests our abilities. In ROTC, it's nothing but us teaching our peers. By us coming here, it gives us a chance to validate our resources and make sure that we've learned the most that we can and that the stuff that we're being taught is actually being enforced at a lower level. Third part, produces top officers. When I say that, I'm not just saying it for my own sake. It produces top officers because year in and year out, hundreds of applicants apply in order to be instructors here at the Academy. But it's actually a grueling process. It's not that anybody can apply here and you'll necessarily get the job. The Academy Director, Mr. Strickler, takes it very, very serious. He looks into your background, checks your references, analyzes your PT score, your overall performance on campus in order to make sure that he's getting the right personnel here for this job. Another part that's huge is, like I mentioned, in the Army, we do the National Order of Merit list. Year in and year out, the Army ROTC personnel who we've had here have been distinguished military graduates. That's huge because it means it's the top 20% of ROTC is here teaching these cadets. And the next part, why MLA? It gives us a chance to work with the next generation. As an ROTC leader, the main thing we want to do is work with people, work with soldiers, work with troops. This gives us a chance to work with a little bit different type of group. It's younger personnel ranging from ages 13 through 17, and just gives us a chance to get that hands-on interaction with people who may eventually one day be under our command. The second part that we focus on in training at the Academy is confidence. A lot of times these cadets need to know and understand that there's nothing that they can't overcome and achieve. We do this through 4 main bullet areas: physical training, land navigation, the obstacle course, and rappelling. PT, physical training, probably the most beneficial thing as a leader. You can't show up to a unit and be out of shape, slow. You need to be able to lead from the front, and that's something that we express here extremely. Leading by example and leading your troops. So physical fitness is conducted there at the Academy on a daily basis. We focus on push-up, sit-up improvement, rucking, running. We do running as an individual thing, as a group thing, in order to improve morale. Second part of it is land navigation. This teaches them to be accustomed with the wilderness with nothing more than a map, protractor, pen, pencil, and compass. So they're out there moving along, navigating from point to point. It teaches them the ability to not only read a map, but just be confident with their abilities. There's not going to be a GPS there to bail them out. It's simply them. Third part of it is the obstacle course. If you'll notice the picture right here on the left-hand side, it's cadets going through one of the obstacle courses there. There's multiple events such as rope climb, weaver, high jump, and this right here is the low crawl, where cadets have to crawl underneath wire. And that right there is one of the instructors who is at LDAC, the Leadership Assessment Course at Warrior Forge in Washington this summer. But the obstacle course is huge because we do it as a team. It's not something that they do on an individual basis. They're out there running through as a team and have to overcome all of the obstacles as a unit. It's not that they can leave anybody behind or anybody can sit out. Every single person has to try every single thing, and eventually they'll overcome it. Fourth part is rappelling. This is actually one that I enjoy more because for the last 2 years since I've been there, I've actually gone up the tower with the cadets just to see them and make sure that everything's okay before they go down. And a lot of times you'll notice that the biggest, baddest, cockiest, confident person in the world gets up there and he's petrified. Last summer we had a kid walk to the top and just start bawling his eyes out because it was the last place in the world that he wanted to be. And keep in mind, this was a kid who excelled at every other facet except this. And he was about to let his own personal fear overcome him. However, after some coaching, talking, he realized that this wasn't going to be something that was going to stop or block him. And luckily for us and for him, more importantly, he was able to overcome this fear. The third part that we focus on at the Academy is the tactical exercise part. This right here is done through 3 main areas: squad tactical exercises, military operations in urban terrain, and engagement skills training. Now, first and foremost, before I continue on with this briefing, I want to make sure that you understand that there's not a single moment where at this academy they handle live weapons. This right here is an example of one of the weapons that they have. As you'll see, sawed off right here, so it's not like you can actually put a magazine in it, plastic all the way through. And this red tape right here, you'll notice, simply means that it's a dummy rifle. So just want to verify that for everybody. This way you don't think your kids are out there on a shooting range blazing down targets. But squad tactical exercises, this is where they go through things such as ambushes, assaults, knock out a bunker. It's pretty much Vietnam type tactics, but it's important that they understand these because it still plays an extreme part in what's going on today, which is what leads us into the second part, military operations in urban terrain. Right now we have troops in Afghanistan and Iraq who are doing just this, and it's important that you understand that this is what the cadets are doing here, and they're learning these same things so that for many of these cadets, they'll go on to have a military career. Last year alone in my platoon, there were 11 high school seniors. At the end of that, right now, 2 of them have decided to join the military. Great and amazing. One's going active duty Army, the other one is going into the Marine Corps. The other 9 are doing ROTC, whether it's at VMI, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia Tech, or West Point. So it's important that you understand that. Next part is engagement skills training. As I mentioned, the cadets are never at a range at any point in time. However, the way that we get them accustomed to a weapon with familiarization is through engagement skills training. This is where they'll go into a room, line up pretty much, and it's all simulated through a computer base. So it'll give them a chance to actually feel the kickback of a weapon, get comfortable shooting, make sure that they understand this. And then after that's all over, we give them a chance to go down there and actually shoot down targets through this computer simulator. It gets them comfortable and lets them understand that they can't actually knock down targets in a combat type environment. All right, and in closing, the final part of training that the cadets will actually conduct is the classroom instruction. All things that they do in the field, they learn first in a classroom. Gives us a chance to get that hands-on experience with instructors, myself, and the cadets, so that they're not thrown into a situation where they're uncomfortable. They've received the teaching prior to. We also teach them things such about civic pride, selfless service, the core values, and historical lessons about our country. This way they understand the founding of our country and important documents such as that. The next slide, we're going to focus on what happens after MLA. I touched on this earlier, that the Academy, yes, it's only 2 weeks long, but it's something that continues on once the cadets do leave. So the big thing that mostly everybody gets from this is self-pride. It's not just for the cadets, but it's also for instructors. About a month ago now, we reached out to our alumni cadets through a survey. In that survey, we asked them things such as what they're up to now, how MLA impacted them, what was the most beneficial thing about MLA, what school they're going to, and what their future plans are. This right here is one of the quotes I want to share with you, just because it kind of caught me, and I want to make sure that you understand that. Prior to MLA, I would have been hesitant to really buckle down in school. I am more respectful, not only to my parents and teachers, but also to any figures of authority, and pride myself on maintaining what was referred to at MLA as military bearing in school and sports. This is a lifestyle change for many of these cadets. They'll come here, and by the time that they leave, they're much more comfortable with themselves, but they also have a better understanding of our country. And that pride is what carries on. Next part is actual recommendation letters. When cadets leave here, they're still going to apply to school, try to get jobs. Last year I had to write a recommendation letter for a kid to get a job at Best Buy. So that interaction continues, and a lot of times it helps with their recommendation letters trying to get into schools such as VMI, Maryland, or wherever else they're trying to attend. Next part, troop appreciation events. This is done through care packages here with Freedom Alliance. So what they'll do is in their hometowns, they'll raise up goods and ship them overseas to the soldiers who are actually fighting in combat right now. And last part, continued mentorship. You notice this on our website briefly when you see Instructor Reese meeting with cadets who are interested in coming to VMI. And we've had the same thing happen at Maryland, where cadets will come down and they just want to check out that campus. They want to get that experience prior to, this way they know if it's the place that's for them. They'll also continue to stay in contact with you because they may need help with just general things in their lives, such as boyfriend-girlfriend problems, small little things like that. So the relationship extends past the 3 weeks that we're here. And the next slide is impact, how the MLA actually impacted me. Leadership development, not only in a garrison type of environment, but also with tactical operations. It gives us that validation because on campus with our ROTC programs, we're learning so many different things, and we get a chance to come here and actually test our leadership capabilities with individuals who are from all over the country and all over the world. We've had cadets come from Switzerland, Germany, France, so it's not just here in the United States. It gives you that interaction with global cadets. Next part, just overall confidence. A lot of times we'll have instructors come in and they're not used to getting in front of a crowd and speaking. They're not used to getting in front of a group of individuals and teaching something. Next part is knowledge. As I mentioned already, ROTC teaches you these key tasks, but it's just that validation for you. Gives you a chance to walk away with things about your leadership capabilities that have and have not worked. And next part, lasting relationships. As I mentioned, cadets will still come and visit you, and it's important that you still have that interaction with them. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a quote that Mr. Strickler, the Academy Director, has pretty much made famous over the last 3 years, and it's, "He is best who trains in the severest school by Thucydides." At this time, are there any questions?